Hi traders, Simon here. Looking at a trade on Euro Kiwi short, but I want to show you what I'm waiting for and how you can enter and how you can get some decent profit out of it. So at the moment we're at a key level of around about 1.7, and you can see that on the monthly chart here. So as you can see here, we've got this 1.7 here, the black line, come down, test, couple tests there. It's come out a couple of times to test it, and now this month here in March, which has another 7 or so days to go, pretty much end of next week, that would be it. So we can safely say this candle is definitely deceleration and reversing here. When we look at the actual volume now of this candle is a very high volume candle as well. It's not what you'd expect there if it was meant to be a deceleration candle. So there's lots of buying and selling at this area here of 1.7. When we come down to the daily and weekly perspective, so this is my problem now on the weekly. This is 1.71 on the weekly chart, pretty much the same. There are multiple support and resistance levels here all the way through since 2012, 2011, 2012. And currently right now we've got two things. One, this upward sloping trend line is containing price. And secondly, we now got this area here, 1.71, and the weekly just really being squeezed in here now. So for me personally, a clear break below this trend line is definitely going to bring you back down to at least 1.615. Bear in mind that's the next resistance area there. So if you got a break of this trend line here, just as an example here, and place your trade at the top, that's a 2-to-1 ratio trade there over a few weeks. I know some people don't like trading over a few weeks, but you know, you have to look at it how it is. Now the lower time frame of the daily chart now. So I quite like the daily chart. It looks good. You got a little triple top here. You could say inverse head and shoulder pattern. And again, we've got this more daily level. I've got a 1.665 here. It's not the greatest level in the world, if I'm going to be brutally honest. 1.62 you can clearly see is the next level. The way this chart has rallied up so much and then just kind of done nothing here, lots of energy and done nothing, to me personally, you do need some form of pullback. And if you look at the Fibonacci extension, the 618 is actually pulling back to the 61 area, 1.61 area. So that's a good nice pullback to see what happens there. So if I was to enter this trade now, for example, this is what you'd be looking at as a trade. You enter the trade there, just put your stop above here. I know it's 160 odd pip, and then target this daily level here, and all of a sudden you've got a 4.7% trade there you have. Again, over the same time scale, but you just quite literally just timed it in even nicer. Now, you can go further and go into the lower time frames and look at this area here. So this is the 1 hour chart at the moment, but let's just go to the 4 hour chart. So the 4 hour chart at the moment is being contained by the 1.701 area, and you actually have this upward sloping trend line here. For me personally, I don't see how you can get any tighter stop and actually have it safer. So unless of course price does this, price comes out of the range and then comes back to test the range or test this area here like that there, and it puts a test near. But even then though, if you've got an order there, you still need a decent stop just in case it comes back again. So I think on intraday terms, it's not the greatest in the world. You probably will see a little pullback today just because where price is now. But personally myself, when you drop down to the 1 hour chart, you'd be probably looking for a trade like this here. If you want to make it really tight, you can do a 78 pip, well, something like that there, 75, even do 100 pip you could. It's much tighter than what it was. And when we come back to this chart here, on the daily, we're looking at 1.621. And you go 1.621, and all of a sudden you've now got an 8.5% trade there, which ideally on the weekly chart you're only going to get 2%. So we've timed it almost perfectly there. So if it was me personally, that is what I'll be looking for. Pull back to the 1 hour 50 again. If it does break below the 1.701 area, I'll just tap that in now for you guys. Well, let's say it this way. If it breaks below this area here, S1 at the moment for today, and closes below it with decent volume, for me personally, that means the chart will head down lower anyway. But I think a pullback is in is really ideal. And personally myself, I think you get a pullback to the 1 hour 50 today or Monday, definitely be looking to take a trade here for a long term. Okay guys, take care, see you soon.